Oh man, the censors are gonna have a nightmare over this title. You can just see the YouTube auditor with one hand on the channel strike button and the other hand on having a dildo go fuck himself. And here's the thing. This is a legit suggestion. No, really. My golden shower idea for an event is actually one of the best suggestions and ideas Bungie will ever receive, even from those dick riding channels that do all their clickbait videos. Now, the idea is a simple one. An event that allows us to equip all slots for exotics for a week, and we receive golden or exotic rewards for pretty much any activity that we have during this event when it's active. And it's not an entire reference to a certain activity a certain president may or may not have participated in. Not saying his name and all, but it sort of rhymes with Ronald Dump. Not saying the rumors are true of hookers peeing on his hotel bed in Russia, because what president in the world would be that big of a scumbag to have hookers in his hotel room, pay for sex, pay people to keep it quiet, and lie about it afterwards? Surely, no such person exists on this planet. But anyways, I digress. The event called the Golden Shower would be essentially a weekly event, similar to how the Iron Banner works or faction rallies. It's a short, limited time offering that provides players a unique way of playing for a week with a shiny golden carrot on a stick at the end of the week once it's completed. Now, let me get into the details of the idea and why something like this should be implemented, because the why point is arguably more important. For 1 week, all PvE activities and certain PvP activities would allow people to fully load out with exotics, armor, and guns. You can equip every single slot with whatever item you want with absolutely no restrictions. You can fully load out for patrols, all the way up to the raid if you really wanted to. Now personally, I like the way some of the raid armor works better than exotics, but you get the fucking point. Nightfalls, strikes, patrols, the works, everything. PvP would have a weekly event similar to the way you have Iron Banner or Mayhem. Quick play and competitive would not be affected by this. Trials, though, is debatable, mainly because Trials is already played by the sweatiest of sweaty players, who probably have every exotic already in the fucking game. So it's not like there'll be some massive advantage among top-tier people. It's the rest of the population that would have some work to do to get all their exotics. Anyways, that's the golden part. The shower part is actually the rewards. The main thing here for the rewards is there needs to be a massive influx of cosmetic items. I'm talking exotic ghost shells, ships, emotes, even shaders, ornaments for the current armor or some of the current guns that we have. You know what? Maybe even exotic class items, similar to what we had back with the faction cloaks and ass towels and friendship bands. All that shit that we had in Destiny 1. We need a shitload of cosmetic things that people won't mind deleting, but essentially they're still all exotic. Now, at the completion of every single event, activity, public event, crucible, strikes, there's going to be a golden confetti explosion, golden fireworks, and we will be showered with two things. And no, P is not one of them. We'll get golden cosmetic engrams from all the shit that I just mentioned, and golden tickets, like sort of like trying to get into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in this motherfucker. The engrams would need to be set in a separate section than the normal bright engrams. I think Bungie even referenced that they're going to add a fourth tab over on another screen that's actually going to have some of our events or quests or whatever the hell it is, because I don't want this shit taking up too many inventory slots. But the idea is we would get golden bright engrams. But the real item that people will want are the golden tickets. Y'all ever been to the arcade? You ever played like skeet ball for 2 fucking hours? You rack up like 5,000 tickets after paying like $300 on the machine, and then you get like what, a magic eraser or some shit as your reward? You know what I'm talking about, man. Those arcades rip you to fuck off, and your reward is like a Hello Kitty Pez dispenser or some shit like that. Anyways, my version would be a much better reward system. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to get into the finer details of how many tickets are going to drop per event or how many you need for rewards. This is obviously just an example. The ticket drop rate could be tied to how many exotics you're wearing at the time or some shit like that, whatever you come up with. But essentially, let's just say, after 100 golden tickets, you get an exotic ornament that you can only get through this ticket system. It's not going to drop in any engram. It can only be obtained through getting enough golden tickets. Then at like 500 tickets, you get a new modeled ship that you can also only get through this event. And again, brand new model. You don't see this being a reskin from anywhere else, but essentially you guys get the point, right? Items can only be bought through this ticket system. But the final item that we get, 1,000 tickets, 2,500 tickets, 5,000 tickets, whatever the hell it is the event-specific exotic. An exotic that will only drop by having enough tickets. It's not going to drop in any other world activity. You can't get this from an engram. Xur will not sell it until maybe like next season or DLC or whatever the fuck it is. It's truly only obtained through getting enough tickets, and it's a kick-ass reward. Imagine the Golden Spindle, a version of the Black Spindle that does like the ammo replenishment on headshot kills or whatever the fuck it is, or just plain old headshots. Or Ragnarok, a golden adorned grenade launcher that is the smaller cousin to the Gjallarhorn. You know, upon impact with a grenade launcher noob tube, it launches Wolfpack rounds. Something incredibly useful as an exotic, and a weapon people will grind this event for. And by keeping these weapons in this event only, then it will actually make people want to play the motherfucker. Honestly, doesn't this sound like some entertaining shit? It's not the golden shower you're initially thinking of when you saw the title of the video. But it shows you how this game could shower you with golden items. And this leads me into the reasons why we need an event like this. And it's not because Destiny 2 is a struggling shit show. It's the root of why Destiny 2 is a struggling shit show. The amount of character loadout customization that we had in Destiny 1 has been stripped out of Destiny 2. We used to have the character ability options where you could select from 3 to 4 options of how you wanted your character to perform. You remember the tree? You could choose, maybe I want this power, the middle power, the bottom power, then this one, that one. That's all been reduced down to 2 set attunements. Guns and armor rolls were obviously a big part of the game with the whole Tier 12 concept of having the highest intellect and discipline and strength, getting the best rolls on some of the legendary weapons. You know, there was a reason to collect armor and then replace it with the same exact version that was a better piece of armor. There was a purpose to collecting guns, then replacing them with a better rolled version of the same gun. That's gone in Destiny 2. If I get a Nessus restorative chest piece and it has resilience and mobility, that is no different than, say, a new Monarchy restorative chest piece with resilience and mobility as the options. Mathematically, they're identical. No difference. The only difference is the mod that I will be able to put on them, and in theory, I could put the exact same mod. Hell, a quarter of the armor pieces are already reskins to begin with, so there's a good chance that you will see identical looking gear, just with a different color. There's really no feeling of being unique in this game. Aside from some of the raid mods that only work on Leviathan, there is utterly no point towards having unique armor sets or multiple armor sets in the game. You remember with Wrath of the Machine in Destiny 1? The gloves that drop more heavy ammo for killing the Fallen? You remember how awesome that shit was? We have nothing like that here. Remember the gun perks of the Fatebringer? And how amazing that gun was and how useful it was with Nightfall, with Arcburn? That's non-existent now. The little bit of customization that we have is through our exotics, and that's really it. There's no more Tier 12. No more unique perks on certain armor sets or one-of-a-kind sets on guns. We lost all that, and the few places it does exist is on our exotics. Now, let me just provide you an example with this. Imagine taking something like a Sunbreaker, right? And then you want to use Kepri's Horn, Syntheseps, Hallow Fireheart, and the Lion Rampant Boost. Just look at how unique of a loadout that is. Holy fuck, that is a fire monster with the ability to fucking fly all over the place. Or a Stormcaller with the Crown of Tempest, Karnstein Armlets, Vesper of Radius, and Lunafaction Boots. I could stand in the middle of a fucking hive gangbang and laugh that shit off like nothing with that kind of setup. Or if you really wanted to be a dick in the Crucible, Graviton Forfeit, Dragon Shadow, and Gemini Jester. And just because there really aren't any decent Void Gloves for the Hunter in the game right now, add Mechaneer sleeves with like a Last Hope sidearm. You would kill motherfuckers real quick, man. And shit, if you don't like that loadout, change it up. Mask of the Quiet One, Doomfang Pauldron, Actium War Rig while using an auto rifle like Uriel's Gift of Ghost Primus, and then the Mark 44 standard sides. Or go fire on a Warlock with Eye of Another World, Starfire Protocol, Winter's Guile, and Transversive Steps. And Arc Stride the shit out of people with Foe Trackers, Shinobu Val Gloves, Raiden Flux, and Lucky Pants. Some of those exotic perks were options in Destiny 1. And you could put that on your character without the need for an exotic. Without the need for certain pieces of armor. Now all of a sudden it's all relegated to our exotics. Our gear sets and mix and match sets into the game, they do nothing. And aside from some legendary sets of having masterworks, there's really no benefit to having one legendary item over another aside from essentially looks. If you want restorative, yeah, cool, but I mean, I could turn that into a masterworks and get restorative on that piece of armor if I really wanted to. Now, the incoming buff on the exotic guns actually makes this idea even better. Right now, there are very few exotic guns that you would take over a legendary weapon. I mean, think about it. There's no reason to take Hardlight into the Crucible over Uriel's Gift. And even after the patch Uriel's Gift. Before patch, Uriel's Gift was unstoppable. After the patch, now it's come back down to earth a little bit. You have the Rat King, Sturm, Sweet Business. There's very little use for these items in PvE or even PvP before this upcoming patch. And the few decent exotics still had limited use. I mean, the Mitre Tool was a reliable weapon in the Crucible, don't get me wrong, but the Antiope gives players a lot better option and probably even a quicker time to kill in certain instances. Vigilance Wing has obviously become one of the more amazing guns after the recent buff, but it took a while to get to that point. The Colony is certainly fun or annoying to use in PvP, depending on your personality. And clearly it annoys the shit out of people, but that works on jackasses that don't know how to jump. Plenty of other heavy weapons could be substituted for the Colony. You know, in PvE, you can't really say with any absolute confidence there is a better kinetic exotic than Better Devils or Nameless Midnight, right? I mean, what exotic primary would you use over Better Devils or Nameless Midnight, and even to a certain extent the Nightshade now that pulse rifles have been buffed? Or energy weapons. Can you think of any that has more benefits than the Manannan right now? I mean, Cold Heart was a good choice for Callus, but obviously that was circumstantial, and there are certainly some other legendary guns you can use in the energy slot, but for the most part, there wasn't an exotic that you're like, yes, I absolutely have to use this one. Wardcliff Coil is obviously the cream of the crop when it comes to the heavy weapons, simply just for the ammo replenishment, but the gun balance update gives linear fusion rifles a much bigger punch than they had before, but realistically, how many exotic guns are really needed in PvE? I mean, Risk Runner worked great for arc damage options. Borealis and Hardlight were great when they wanted to change the burn damage activities. Merciless is fantastic at killing the boss, but otherwise, there aren't many exotics that you're like, yes, I have to use this shit. You know, in the game right now, we have over 65 pieces of exotic gear before the Warmind DLC. And then we're probably going to have close to 85 or 90 after the DLC releases. You mean out of all these exotic weapons, we can only equip one gun and one armor piece? I mean, doesn't that just seem like a waste of vault space? It's nice that we have all these pieces, but the overwhelming majority of them just sit in a vault and they collect dust. It's not a smart way of using our inventory. The Golden Shower event gives us that chance. Instead of feeling like we just have to use one exotic all the time, now we have reasons to actually use more. Now we have the opportunity to combine exotics and create a unique character combined to the other vanilla characters that we're already using. We have purpose behind our loadouts with the idea for this event, and that's the goal of this. It's not just to call something the Golden Shower. It's not just to give us a grand golden weapon like the Ragnarok or Golden Spindle idea that I had before, but essentially it does give us the option for more customized loadout features. This is what we've been missing since Destiny 1. We've been missing the ability to feel unique, to feel different in the Crucible or PvE. Otherwise, right now, we all just kind of feel the same. There really isn't a big difference in how people are playing right now, so providing us with more variety is going to give players the opportunity to at least feel more unique. That's what this event is really going for. Obviously, Bungie's not going to take my idea. But if they do, we're naming this shit the Golden Shower. I don't give a fuck what they want to call it. I don't care what they try and pass this shit off as. If we ever use all of our golden items, we're calling this event the Golden Shower. Anyways, next week, the Warmind DLC will be releasing. Obviously, I have the Season Pass, so I'll go back and play that shit. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
There it came. Perfect. Oh, I gotta go to Zer. He got the new...